Good evening, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you once again. Tonight's video is something a little bit different. I will touch on reloading, but not in the way that you might expect. I had sold my motorcycle a few months back, earlier in the summer, that I had, let's see, 22 years I had that motorcycle. And due to health reasons and bone issues and surgeries and all that other good stuff, it was better that I not ride any longer, just because of the safety factor. What if? Because it's not, when you own a bike, motorcycle, it's not if you go down, it's when you go down. And I've been down before because of other people's inability to see a 700-pound motorcycle and a couple 100-pound 6-foot rider. So people in cars just see through motorcycles for whatever reason. So it was just the right decision. But as I packed things up, emptied out my saddlebags and such, I came across this, and this was a kit I put together many years ago, a first aid kit for when I was out and about, and if something were to happen, blood stop or compress. I think this is just a giant tampon, yeah, essentially. So this is all old stuff. This is from, like I said, probably put this together 20 years ago. And this doesn't, it's been nice in the saddlebag. It's not like it's been exposed to weather or anything. Maybe some of the, what we got here, burn gel, antibiotic and whatnot. And what triggered the idea behind this video was, I'll show you the, if you haven't seen the video, when I'm usually out in the garage, very susceptible to cutting myself on something. The last time I cut myself pretty good, I think I sliced open one of my fingers here, and you saw that happen real time, and that was a good deep cut. And I don't really have anything in the garage per se, and I use a asterisk sign with that one. I don't have any first aid stuff in the garage, and this is all, oof, I don't know if that's moldy or what. Yeah, that's kind of grody, which is why I did what I did. This is so old that my eye wash solution is about 20% of what it used to be. So that has dried out over time. More old non-sterile triangular bandage, more old stuff. But this is not a big kit, which is why I had it on my on me with when I rode my motorcycle. It was a, if something were to happen, your leg gets burned on the tailpipe, hot pipe, whatever, passenger, hot pipe, things happen. So as I was, looking this over, I thought to myself, and this actually happened before, this has been sitting in a chair for 3 months now, and the reason this got triggered was because of this. A few days ago, I was in the local dollar shop, roaming the aisles, and I saw this little vial of liquid skin. I love liquid skin. I use that all the time. In fact, when I cut up my hand, my finger, that's the first thing I did. I went to clean it out and then did liquid skin. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's cool, because the bottle of liquid skin I have is 5 times this big. It's meant for a medicine cabinet, whereas this is nice and dainty and fits inside a kit like such as this. So I have a first aid kit, but this is for my range bag. So I didn't want to be dipping into this for my garage needs per se. So this is much newer, much fancier, less moldy, but it's got more stuff. It's a bigger bag, actually, and again, it's meant for the range when somebody does something stupid And who hasn't done something by accident or by stupidity at the range? You know, a hammer bite, slide bite, splinters. I can't tell you how many times on the benches I've gone to reach for something and hit the wood at a weird angle and get a bitchin' splinter. So there's tweezers in here and stuff, but all kind of stuff for, you know, and there's heavier duty stuff for, you know, blood clotting, should somebody have a really bad accident. Hopefully not me or my family. But in any case, because this stuff is, you know, essentially 20 years old, it's probably time for, you know, a refresh. So, and considering I went to pick this up, or I happened to pick this up recently, I thought, let me go back to our friends at the dollar store and buy everything in sight. So I kind of did that. So I started walking the aisles, waterproof foam tape. Obviously all of this, some updated gauze pads, smaller. All of this will not make it into the refresh of this, but a little bit of everything will. So for instance, this whole thing won't go in there, but one or two of them would, and then the rest will go in a medicine cabinet. I picked up, again, flexible fabric. I like the fabrics. There's something to be said for the plastics as well, different sizes. I found a little mini first aid kit, so maybe I'll populate some of this into this bare bones kit that is, you know, less than a ½ inch thick, so it won't take too much. Alcohol prep pads, can't beat those. Some modern, cool, bright color for elastic bandage support. Again, I have found that when you have a Band-Aid of any sorts, especially if you're in the garage and it's summertime or whatever, the Band-Aids slip off so easy, you know, either because of the amount of blood or the amount of sweat, and again, another type of tape to keep the Band-Aid on. But what I found that really works well, especially for a cut, is super glue. As bad as that sounds, you know, if you get a good cut that not necessarily stitches level, but maybe questionable, like when I cut up my finger, that would have been a perfect candidate for these little tiny single-use super glues. And I like these because normally when you buy a super glue, you get it in a huge bottle, or let's see if I've got some examples. You know, you get a big giant-ass bottle like this and you use it a few times, and then it, you know, and here's a great example. This is drying out big time. This is all clogged, so I have to take this off. But again, a big-ass bottle is, you know, limited use because as soon as you open it, it starts to dry up. So these little things are great because, you know, essentially single-time use, and then throw it away. Or hope it's good for the next time, but usually with super glue it isn't. Some antibiotic, again, great for the finger. So had I done the finger, or had I had this kit with me in the garage, you know, readily accessible, as soon as I did the, you know, the cut, I would have gone for some alcohol prep pads, probably a little thing of super glue, then maybe some liquid skin, or done a Band-Aid, a type of Band-Aid, and then maybe wrapped it so that it could kind of seal itself, and then maybe go after the liquid skin if the super glue didn't do its job. But what I like about this is, at least the one I have upstairs in the bathroom, is it has what's the word I'm looking for? An antiseptic built into it, so it stings like shit when you touch it to the cut. So we'll see if that one does the same thing. If not, no worries. Antibiotic to do the same thing. Keep the wound clean. And last but not least, a bigger version. You know, hopefully, I'm way taped up here, but again, you saw the condition of the tape in here. It looks kind of grody, so tape refresh. And that was it. So, you know, for 15 bucks at the dollar store, you get like $40 worth of Wally World or Walgreens or CVS type of first aid, you know, very minor, basic, small cuts kind of stuff, borderline on, again, stitches. Being able to seal up the cut, even a bad cut, When I was a teenager, one Christmas back in the, this would have been, gosh, 79, 80, 81 maybe. We bought a real tree at Christmas, and I took the axe and I went to chop at the base, and I was swinging the axe this way, and I was holding on to the base, and I was doing this, and I came right across and opened this up, and I missed the tendon by, fraction. You can barely see the scar, but it's there. And that was, I mean, I watched that open up and just pour blood. It was in slow motion. It just opened up in slow motion, as all deep cuts do. I think this one, as soon as I cut myself with the knife, I'm like, oh, let's watch that. And I watched it open up and bleed. And you'll see that in one of my videos. I think it's in one of the diamond plate videos, if those have not been published yet. So I don't know if this will be out before the diamond plate. But in any case, this bag might actually be too small moving forward. So maybe I'll graduate up to a bigger bag. But this is something that I will keep right on the bench. So somewhere on the bench, readily accessible, so that when I do cut or whatever, and I do have within arm's reach, hand sanitizer and whatnot to immediately, get something in there before I wrap a paper towel. I always have paper towels on the bench so that if I need to soak it before I can get to, alcohol prep or antibiotic or glue or liquid skin or any of that stuff. So this is just something that, again, good to have on the workbench. Also, I can't say enough about having this in the range bag as a go-to for, I've pulled it out for other people and their needs, minor needs at the range, especially, newer people not knowing how to shoot or hold a gun, and getting that hammer bite or that slide bite. And sometimes that can be drippy blood, and the adrenaline's flowing, and the range has stuff too, but to be right next to somebody, say, here's some stuff, works out quite well. So that is it for tonight, and our updated basic first aid kit for the garage. Hello, YouTubers. I thought I would add this to the end of this first aid video. One of the things, and one of the reasons why I like to visit the dollar store, is some of the uniqueness they have, and this is one of them. So many, and this was the reason I didn't have this included last night, was because it was in the fridge getting cool, and now it's very, very cool. Years ago, my son and I would go to Bevmo, Beverages and More. And God, I can't remember how long it's been. 7, 8, 10 years. Long time. We were fans, and still are, of root beer. So Bevmo used to have at the back of the store a whole wall of sodas from around the country. Things that I hadn't seen since I was, a kid. Pineapple flavored Crush, orange Crush, strawberry Crush in a glass bottle. And they had just all these different root beers I'd never heard of, besides Dad's and, just the run-of-the-mill stuff that you've heard of. And so what we used to do was like a flight of taste testing. We'd buy a bottle here, a couple bottles. It was usually a 6-pack. You'd get you'd pick up a cardboard 6-pack holder, and then you'd put 6 bottles of different brands. And one of the brands of root beer was, and I'm probably mispronouncing this, Sprecher. And it was more root, a little more tart of a taste than a sweet of a taste. So, my favorite canned root beer would be Barks. There's a nice blend of carbonation, the root beer flavoring, the carameling, and not too sweet. Some root beers are very sweet and flat, and other root beers are very, they've got a punch to them, too much carbonation, not sweet at all. You know, again, it's, you know, different companies, different tastes. But Sprecher had a pretty good root beer. And a while back, I was in the dollar store and I walked the aisle and they had Sprecher cream soda and had never tried their cream soda. And we're a cream soda fan too. You know, some of the, who is it, Weinhardt's cream soda, ridiculously expensive, you know, 6-pack for like $7 or $8. And when it's on sale. And the this is sitting on the shelf, so I'm like, okay, let me give this a try. And it says it's made with honey, and it's an antioxidant. So I didn't know what to expect with Sprecher cream soda. This is the best cream soda I've ever had in my life, hands down, hands down. And it's at the dollar store for $1. So the fact that it's, you know, 2/3 cheaper than what it used to, you know, what the root beer equivalent used to sell for at Bevmo, and it's now at the dollar store for $1. Delicious cream soda. Great balance of, you know, usually cream sodas are, in my opinion, a little too sweet. This is a great balance of carbonation, not too heavy on the cream side of the cream soda. And I guess with the honey flavor, it's just a really nice blend, and thoroughly enjoy it. So anytime we're at the dollar store, now this is another reason to go to the dollar store and buy all this other shit just to get the cream soda. So kudos on the cream soda.